Semester Exam 1 Review. Number 1. What is a scale factor used when going from the smaller shape to the larger one? That means what am I multiplying by? That's a scale factor. What am I multiplying the smaller shape numbers by to get the larger shape numbers? 6 times something equals 12. So 6 times 2 equals 12. That means our scale factor for this shape is 2. That is what we would multiply each of these by to get the other missing pieces. Number 2 says, what is the missing length of the side? Or what is the length of the missing side? So what would this length be here? I know it corresponds to the 8, and we know our scale factor is 2. So 8 times 2 equals 16. That would be our answer for number 2. Number 3. When reducing any image, what type of scale factor would be used? So reducing means getting smaller. If I'm going from one shape to another shape and it gets smaller, is that going to be a scale factor that's more than 1, less than 1, or equal to 1? If it's more than 1, that means the shape is going to go like twice the size or 3 times the size. Less would be a fraction of the size, and equal would be the same size. If we're reducing, that means it's going smaller, so it will be a fraction of the size, so less than 1. Number 4. What is the perimeter of the shape? Perimeter means the outside edge, so we're going to add up all of these sides. So we'll take the 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6. 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 12, 12 plus 6 is 18, and it is measured in feet. So our answer is 18 feet. Number 5, what is the area of the shape? Right now, I can break this shape into 2 pieces. I could take this one and go down here. So then I could multiply. This is a square and a triangle. This would be a 4. If it's 3 to here, and I know the shape probably doesn't look like it's perfect, but from here to here, then if this total bottom piece is 6, and from here to here is 3, then here to here is 3. Find the area of the rectangle or square. Let's be a rectangle first. 4 times 3 because it's length times width when we're talking about a 4-sided shape like a square or rectangle. 4 times 3 equals 12, so that would be half of the shape. Then a triangle is base times the height and then divide by 2. The base in this is the 3, the height is the 4, and then we divide by 2. So 12 divided by 2 equals 6. I can take the 12 from the square or rectangle plus the 6 from the triangle. 18 is my total, and it is square feet or feet squared. So 18 is also the answer for this one, except it's in square feet because we're talking about area. Number 6, a rectangle has a height to width ratio of 3 to 12.5. Name 3 examples of dimensions for a rectangle that could be scaled versions. So width is 3, length is 12.5. I need to find 3 more that would be the same ratio, like a scale factor. So if I multiply each one by 2, that could be a ratio of 6 to 25. Or I could go larger and say my new rectangle is going to be 3 times the size. So 3 times 3 is 9. And 12.5 times 3 is 37.5. I could even make a shape of a rectangle that's smaller. So I could divide both sides by 2, which if it's scale factor means multiplying it by a half, taking half the size. So 3 times a half, or 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. And 12, I don't know how I got that point, but that's okay. 12 and a half divided by 2 is 6.25. And I don't know why I keep making these, but that's okay. So 6 and 25, 9 and 37.5, or 1.5 and 6.25. Really what you're doing is whatever you multiply the width by, you also need to multiply the same thing by the length, because that would be a scale factor. Here are 3 different recipes for grape pineapple juice. 2 of these mixtures taste the same and 1 tastes different. Which 2 recipes will taste the same? That means we need to figure out which ones have the same ratio of grape juice to pineapple juice. I could make a table and go grape, pineapple, and then from here I could go, okay, the first one is 3 and this part is 10.5. The second one says 4.5 and this says 15.75. And the last one is 6 and 12.5. And then I just find the constant for each one. 10.5 divided by 3 is equal to 3.5. 15.75 divided by 4.5 is also 3.5. And 12.5 divided by 6 becomes like 2.083 repeating. That means for every 1 cup of grape juice, you would need 3.5 cups of pineapple juice. 1 cup of grape juice, 3.5 cups of pineapple juice. 1 cup of grape juice, 2.083 repeating cups of pineapple juice. These two have the same constant, so they are the same ratio, which means one is just a little bit more juice than the other one. This one is a little bit larger, but they're the same proportions. So recipe 1 and recipe 2 are the same, so they would taste the same, even though one just, the glass has more juice in it than the other one. Next one. Rain is pouring down in Seattle, Washington. After 4 hours, 16 inches of rain has fallen. And here's a table to help you out. What is the constant of proportionality? So if this is my x and this is my y table, I can take 16 over 4 y over x, so that's the same thing as doing y over x, and that will tell us our constant. 16 divided by 4 is 4. That means for every 1 hour of rain here, it's 4 inches. So our constant of proportionality is 4, and that stands for 4 inches of rain per hour, for every 1 hour. Number 9. Andre rode his bike at a constant speed, described by the equation d equals 5t, where d represents the distance in yards that the bike travels at this speed in minutes. What does the 5 tell us in this situation? So this is saying the distance in yards is equal to 5 times the amount of minutes. Let's see, we'll put minutes here. So the 5 tells us that for every minute, the bike will go 5 yards. So if there were 2 minutes, it would be 10 yards. 3 minutes, 15 yards. Yes, I understand that a bike and yards isn't that big. Maybe you're thinking about a toddler and maybe they're just learning. It might take them, 5, or might be able to go 5 yards in just 1 minute. Who knows? But the 5 in here stands for 5 is equal to yards per minute. Number 10. Sean has some cans of soda that each hold 12 fluid ounces. How much soda or fluid ounces would be or is in 9 cans? So if 1 can, this is the cans and this is the ounces, if 1 can holds 12 fluid ounces, how many would 9 cans hold? Find the constant. 1 times something gets me 12. So if I'm going this way, I'm multiplying. 1 times 12 is 12, so 9 times 12 is 108 ounces. That would be how much soda 9 cans of soda would hold. 108. This is not part of it. Number 11. When you mix two colors of paint in equivalent ratios, the resulting color is always the same. For an orange color, you need 4 cups of red paint. So I know I'm already comparing, I might as well make a table now. 4 cups of red paint for every 6 cups of yellow paint. How many cups of yellow paint should you mix with 1 cup of red paint to make the same shade of orange? So I need to figure out what my constant is. 4 times something gets me 6. To figure that out, I can take 6 divided by 4, and that is equal to 1 2/4, which is the same as 1 1/2 or 1.5. 1 times 1.5 or 1 1/2 is 1 1/2. So it would take 1 1/2 cups of yellow paint for every 1 cup of red paint to make the same shade of orange. Number 12. A circle has a radius of 30 centimeters. What is the area of the circle? And use pi, 3.14 for pi. So we know it is asking us for area. Area is equal to pi times the radius squared. So instead of pi, I'm going to write 3.14. Instead of the radius, I'm going to put 30, but that means I need to square it first. So this will be the first thing I do. 30 times 30 is 900. So 3.14 times 900, and when I multiply those together, I get 2,826, and it's in centimeters, and its area so squared. This would be my answer for that one. Number 13. If the radius of a circle is 86 centimeters, what is the diameter? Well, diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. And if the radius is 86, that means 2 times 86. That answer is 172, and it's just centimeters. Because it's not asking for area, so we don't square it. The diameter of a circle is 140 centimeters, then what is the radius? So now we're going backwards. Radius is equal to taking the diameter and dividing it by 2. So if my diameter is 140 and we divide it by 2, then because we're cutting it in half, my radius is 70 centimeters. 15. What is the circumference of the circle? Formula for circumference. Right now I look and I have a diameter. Circumference has 2 different formulas. You can either multiply pi times diameter, or you can multiply 2 times pi times the radius. In this circle we have diameter, so I'm going to use this one. That's equal to 3.14 for pi, and the diameter is 18. 3.14 times 18 is equal to 56.52, and it's just inches since it's circumference, meaning around the edge of the circle. What is the area of the circle? Again, area is equal to pi r squared. So instead of pi, I'm going to put 3.14. Radius. Well, if 18 is the diameter, I need to cut that in half to get radius. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, but it's pi r squared, so I need to square that. This will be the first thing I do. So 3.14 times, and then 9 times 9 is 81. 3.14 times 81 is equal to 254.34, and it is inches squared because we are talking about area. Number 17, 18. Decide whether circumference or area would be needed to calculate the distance around a merry-go-round. So if we're going around something, that is circumference. The amount of paint needed to paint the surface of a round table. So if I had a round table and I needed to paint the whole surface, that would be the area of the table. Or 19. What is the area of the entire figure? We know that if this is a square, that means this is 10 here, and This would be 10, this would be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And that could help us out. First thing I'm going to do is find the area of each of the boxes. The area of a box is length times width. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 10 is 100. Now I have two half circles. Technically, I could take this piece right here and shift it over and move it down, and I'd have one full circle. So I need to find the area of the full circle. Area is equal to pi r squared. So pi is 3.14. The radius, notice that this is halfway through the circle and this one's halfway, so my radius is 10 squared. So 3.14 times 10 times 10 is 100. 3.14 times 100 is 314. That would just be the circle, but then I need to add each of those other boxes. So the whole shape, 314 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100, so 3, 4, 5, 614, and it's just units, so units squared. What is the perimeter of the entire figure? Perimeter is outside edge. And if I took this circle and brought it down, half circle and brought it down here, it would be a full circle, and we just need this outside edge, which is circumference. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius, and in this case the radius is 10. So 2 times 3.14 times 10. And I can just multiply these. It doesn't matter which order. I could go 2 times 10 is 20 times 3.14. However I get to it, my answer for the circle, the outside edge of the circle, is 62.8. So that would be this piece and this piece. But then we also have to add in these other two side pieces. So 62.8 plus this one. So 10 plus 10. Then we have the circle. Then we have 10, 10. And the circle. So 62.8 plus 40 is equal to 102.8 units. Oops, that says units there. 21. For 21 and 22, use the following information. At the store, Lisa bought, and it tells us for how many pounds of cashews, this is what she paid for. 4.5 pounds of almonds, she paid this. 5 3/4 pounds of walnuts, she paid $14.95. How much would it cost for 1 pound of almonds? So I know 3 pounds cost $12.50. So if I take $12.50 and divide it by 3, that will tell me that for 1 pound of almonds, she paid about $4.17. It's like 4.16 repeating. But that means for every 1 pound, she paid this much. Almonds, if I take 7.20, that's how much she paid for 4.5. So let's divide it up by 4.5 pounds. That means for almonds, she paid about $1.60 for every pound. And do the same thing for walnuts. 14.95 divided by 5 3/4, also known as 5.75. And that becomes $2.60. So as of right now, cashews would cost the most, then walnuts, and then almonds for 1 pound. 1 pound of almonds, that is $1.60. 2 pounds of walnuts, well, 1 pound costs $2.60, so 2 pounds would cost $5.20 because it would be $2.60 times 2. And that would be here. Number 23. A cyclist rode 5.8 miles in 7.54 hours. At that rate, how long will it take her to go 18 miles? So if we have miles and hours, and we know the cyclist went 5.8 in 7.54, and we want to know if the cyclist goes 18 miles, how long will that be? Again, find the constant. So 7.54 divided by 5.8, and that is equal to 1.3. This is our constant. So we're going to take that number, since we're going this way, we're multiplying. So 18 times 1.3, and that gets us 23.4 hours. That's how long it would take to go 18 miles at this rate. Number 24. A farmer can sell blueberries for $1.85 per pound. A blueberry order cost $25.90. How many pounds did the farmer sell? Well, if we know we have pounds and we have cost, and they says that it can sell 1 pound for $1.85, how much would it be, or how many pounds did they sell if they sold $25.90? Since I'm going this way on the table, I'm dividing. 1 times 1.85, because if I take 1.85 and divide it by 1, that's the same thing. So 25.90 divided by 1.85 would equal 14. So the farmer could sell 14 pounds for $25.90. That's how many they sold. 25. Draw a tape diagram to match the equation y equals 1.75x. First thing I might do is make this a fraction. So y equals 1 3/4 x. So I know how many units or boxes to break my tape into. If I have a tape and my denominator is how many equal 1 whole, so 4. So if I cut this one in half, 4 of these pieces are equal to 1 whole x. It says that y is equal to 1 3/4. So y is equal to a whole and 3 more. So I would add 3 more. And this would be my tape diagram for that one. Y is equal to 1 and 3 more out of 4x. 26. One morning, a coffee shop sold 10 cups of coffee and 2.5 as much again. How many cups of coffee did they sell? So we know that the coffee shop sold 10 cups plus 2/5 of 10 more. So I could take this and go, okay, 10 plus, and I could make this, I could figure out what is 2/5 of 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 2. And then take that answer and divide it by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. So they sold 10 cups of coffee, and 2/5 of 10 more would be 4 more. They sold a total of 14 cups of coffee. This year, there were 40% less sunny days than last year. Fill in the blank with the percent increase or decrease as a percentage of the initial. The initial was last year. So initial was 100%. This year, the number of sunny days this year is what percentage of the number of sunny days last year? Well, this year it's 40% less. So we're going to take away 40%. That means that this year is 60% of the sunny days of last year. 28. At the water park, the cost of a ticket increased by 25%. If the old ticket sold for $16, how much do the new tickets sell for? I could make a line graph. Go, okay, this is my 100% here. The old ticket sold for $16. It says that it increased 25, which means it's going up 25%. So 100 plus 25 is 125. That means that my marks are going to count by 25%. So go down 75, go down to 50%. Here would be 25% and 0. Between 100% and 0, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So I'm going to take 16 and divide it by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. That means $4 plus another 4 is 8, plus another 4 is 12, plus another 4 is 16, and then we're going up one more because the price increased by 25%. So 16 plus 4 is $20. That's how much the ticket sold for. You could also say that the tickets were 1.25% of the original, and that would be the new cost. So 1.25, the original was 16. That means it's $16 plus another 25%, and that would also be equal to 20. Okay. If you're in accelerated classes, I want you to skip to question 33 in your packet right now. Otherwise, we are moving on to question 29. Draw a scaled copy of the polygon using a scale factor of 3. That means multiplying by 3 each side length. This side length right here is 1, 2, 3, 4 originally, and this one is 2. This one, to get to this point, I go down 3 and over 1. I need to multiply all of these by 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. So I'll start here, and then I need to go 12 across. So this should be 12. Then 2 times 3 is 6, so 6 down. 1, 2, 3. So this would be from here to here, and 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12. Then this one says go down 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. So I'm going to go down 9, but not make a mark yet. And then go over 1, but I'm multiplying by 3. And this would be my bottom piece. And then I can connect them. And that didn't connect very well. You know what I mean. And oh, yep, right there too. But I have the points to show where they should be. This would be a scaled copy of the original. Yes, I don't have perfect lines. I probably could have used my line tool, which would have been a better idea. Let's see. Go from here. Oh, I don't know if it will let me do that on here. Okay. But for example, then this should have been 12 across. This should have been 6 down. This should have been 9 going down this way, and then over 3. Question 34, if you're accelerated, or number 30. Use a scale factor, and this one you should have crossed out and made 1/3 in your packet. That means it's going to multiply by 1/3, and that's the same thing as saying dividing by 3. So my original 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, down 6, and over 1, 2, 3. We're going to take each of those and divide by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So if I start here and go over 1, 2, then 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'm going to go down 1. So this is 1, this is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2, so to go down 1, 2, and over 1. And this is 1/3 of the size of the original. That's our scaled copy. 2, 1, down 2, over 1. And the last set of finding the constants, number 35 in your accelerated packet, or number 31. So find the constant of proportionality. That means you need to find the y over the x. 75 divided by 5, and once you get that answer, which you could then just take your calculator and go, well, what is 75 divided by 5? and that equals 15. So the constant of proportionality for this one is 15. If I'm going this way, I multiply. If I'm going this way, I divide. So 120 divided by 15 is 8, or 7 times 15 is 105. Come down to the second one. I have these two. 84 divided by 6 is 14. So multiply going this way, or divide going this way. 28 divided by 14 is 2. 5 times 14 is 70. This one, 14 divided by 224. That comes out to 0.0625. 1 divided by, because I'm going this way, 1 divided by 0.0625 is 16. 882 times that is actually 55.125. And the last one, 21.5 divided by 86 is a fourth, or 0.25. 78 times 0.25 is 19.5. 46 divided by 0.25 is 184. That should be the end of the packet. Unless you're accelerated, then I would like you to go back to question number 29. Okay, back to question number 29 now. If an item has a sales price of $24 after it has been discounted 25%, what was the original price? So we know that this $24 is after a 25% discount. So if I were to draw a line and at 100, at 100%, fix this. At 100%, we don't know what the original price was, but we know it has been discounted. It has gone down 25%, and at the discounted price, it is worth $24. It cost $24. That means that we are counting down our percentages by 25. So one more would be 50%, one more would be 25%, and then I'll add on to 0. From 75% to 0, that's 1, 2, 3 units. 24 divided by 3 is 8. That means that each of these lines is representing $8. 8, 16 plus 8 more is 24. So 8 more than that would have been 32. That means that the original price was $32. We could also check it and go, okay, $24 is after the 25% discount. So 25% off means that you're paying 75% of it. So 75% of the original price is $24. We could divide both sides by 7.75, and that would also get us to 32. Question number 30. The bill at a restaurant is $63.55. If you leave an 18.5% tip, what is your total restaurant bill, including the tip? So that means that we're paying $63.55, and we're going to multiply that by 18.5%. So move the decimal 2 spots to the left, which is 0.185. That will tell us how much we're leaving for the tip. So 63.55. See if we take out a calculator and do $63.55, and we multiply that by 0.185. That gets about $11.76 or so. So we'll say that is $11.76, and we're going to add that to the $63.55. because that's how much we would leave for a tip. That would be the 18.5%. So I'm going to take $63.55, add it to $11.76, and we get $75.31. So the total bill with including tip was $75.31. 31. A gym membership costs $62. You have a discount and purchase it for $46.50. What percentage was the discount? Again, if I wanted to draw a number line, I know that 100% is equal to the $62. At some point, I paid for it $46.50. $46.50. $62 minus $46.50 is $15.50. So I know that these lines are going down by $15.50. So if I take $15.50 from 46, that gets me 31. Minus $15.50 is $15.50 and 0. That means there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So I'm counting down by 25%. So 75%, 50, 25, and 0. $46.50 is 75% of the original. So I had a percentage of a discount. I had a 25%, that's a 5, 25% discount. If I wanted to do that as an equation, I would say $46.50 is what percent of $62? So 46.5 divided by 62 is 75%. That means $46.50 is 75% of it, so we took 25% off. Last one, number 32. Dan measured the length of a pen to be 22 centimeters. The actual length is 23. What is the percent error? Well, 23 minus 22 is equal to 1. That's the measurement error over the actual size was 23. And 1 divided by 23, if we round it up, is about 4.3%. That would be our measurement error. So now you are all done with your semester exam review.